What is going on, everybody? John Impemba here with Andrew Cooper. Welcome into the Thursday Night Football Preview Live Show here, breaking down Week 2 NFL action, answering your start sit, getting you all ready and up to date with the latest news, and of course, talking this matchup we're going to have tonight between the Minnesota Vikings and the Philadelphia Eagles. Coop, my guy, we made it through Week 1. How are you feeling?
Feeling good, man. I mean, the tight end position, my favorite position, was a nightmare in the first week. But we're missing the top two players. Dallas Goedert's got the toughest matchup possible. Guys are all nicked up. So we're going to have a better week this week. And football, once again, is back. And hopefully we have a good game tonight. Thursday, we got the Vikings and the Eagles. And it's not like Thursdays during the season where guys are all banged up and stuff. It's still early enough, right, John, where, we should get a pretty standard matchup here.
Right? I'm hopeful. I mean, listen, obviously there's a lot of star power in this Week 2 matchup here with the Minnesota Vikings. They have Justin Jefferson, TJ Hawkinson. They drafted Jordan Addison. We're pretty excited about the prospects of that offense. And on the other side, you have the Philadelphia Eagles at home here. Jalen Hurts and Devonta Smith and A.J. Brown, Dallas Goedert. So there's a lot of excitement with the passing offenses with these two teams. Big question tonight, obviously, we'll get into all of the injury news and stuff about this game. We have the inactives already out. Kenneth Gainwell officially inactive as we expected. Is sort of what's going to happen with the running game here in Philadelphia. Stories that we're going to answer. I know there's going to be a lot of questions on that here tonight as well. What to do with DeAndre Swift, Boston Scott, how much is Rashad Penny going to even play tonight after being healthy and active in Week 1? So a lot of stories to come here with this matchup. Spread was sitting at 49.5 the last I saw. Philly was sitting as a 6.5-point home favorite here this evening. So it should be pretty interesting to see how it all kind of plays out tonight. And as you guys start rolling into chat, we appreciate you. I see Ann Dunn. I see Formula 1 Racer. Tommy getting the game. Mr. Scampers. Everybody is starting to roll in here. Coop, what's exciting tonight is not only do we have, obviously, our preview show here, but you can get in on the action with us when you go and download the BetterCast app. Right now, there's some pregame questions, I'm sure, that are being loaded up, if not already available. You can scan the QR code on the screen here to download the free BetterCast app here, and you can watch tonight's game with us, answer live questions as the game goes on for your opportunity to score points, win some tickets, and get some cool prizes, right, Coop?
Yeah. I mean, so it's kind of a twofold thing here. One, we're all hanging out there, like Howard Bender's in there. We're in the chat, kind of chatting it up. This is where we go to hang out, talk about the game here in the Discord. Those are the two spots you can find us. The other is that it's a free app. You go and download BetterCast, BETTOR cast, and you can win tickets right now that can be used, again, free to enter. All you have to do is answer questions before and during the game, and you get tickets to get autographed jerseys, helmets, all these things. We're also down the road going to be doing Fanatics gift cards where you can get literally anything in the world because Fanatics owns everything now. And we're going to be doing exclusive viewing parties. Maybe if there's a former player, celebrities from teams you like, we're getting them all in, getting them involved. It's going to be awesome. You can get in on the ground floor now, right? You're in, you can get on the leaderboard, get your name up there, be an OG, be somebody that's a part of something brand new. So super cool. Download that now. The link is in the description and right there on the screen. Get going, get in there now, answer those pregame questions now, and then during the game, we're hanging out, watching, play. Watch, play, win. That's the whole idea, that you have your phone with you anyway, so you might as well hang out and win some stuff while you're watching the game.
Look at Ann Dunn, and they're already in chat saying, I already answered my pregame question. So she's ready to go for tonight. So again, scan the QR code on the screen if you haven't yet already downloaded the free app there, and get involved tonight with the BetterCast with us in that chat to enjoy tonight's Thursday night football action. Coop, again, we're going to let some of these questions roll in. If you're new to the show here, we are going to answer all your questions. You don't have to worry about typing them in more than once. Coop and I are going to go down the questions, answer them as they come across here. Before we do get into all of that, though, some of the top stories here from today, obviously, again, the Kenneth Gainwell injury, but also on the defensive side of the football for Philadelphia, they're a little bit banged up here. How do you think that's going to impact this game?
Yeah, I mean, it's a smash spot. It would be a super smash spot for TJ Hawkinson if James Bradberry was playing. We watched Hunter Henry. He was the tight end 1 last week, and Hawkinson, was 8 of 8 on his targets, so he's rock solid. James Bradberry's out. And the situation that creates is this. Last week, KJ Osborne played more snaps than Jordan Addison, but Jordan Addison flashed. He had a 39-yard touchdown. Maybe that flips this week. Those dudes, though, with Darius Slay covering Justin Jefferson, one of those dudes or both of them are in a prime spot to blow up this week. So Jordan Addison, it's a bit of a high risk, high reward move because KJ Osborne is still there. He did play more snaps last week.
Right.
With that matchup, whatever the backup corner is, could be wheels up in that situation. So Jordan Addison, unless you have somebody safer and potentially just in general better, you got to try and get him in lineups, right?
Yep, I agree with you. All right, let's get to some of these questions. I know they're going to kind of start rolling in as we hit more news or anything you want to talk about. Coop, feel free to bring them up. We'll do your start sits, injury updates, DFS, you name it. We'll cover it here tonight, man.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to bounce back to the game. I want to look at some prop. Eventually, I want to look at some prop bets.
Sure.
I want to look at some DFS, some showdown slate. But let's clear the deck on questions we have in the chat already. So first one, Ann Dunn, who apparently already has 5K tickets on the Bettercast, which I'm not surprised at all. Ann's a lifelong Fantasy Alarm member and a sharp cat. She wants to know, John, right off the bat, Jordan Addison in the question, full PPR, Michael Thomas or Javonte Williams?
Oh, man, we have a couple of our babies in here, Coop, right? Obviously, you're a big Michael Thomas guy. I like Javonte Williams here. I'm going to lean Javonte, I think, in this group. Michael Thomas going up against Tennessee in that week 1 spot or week 2 spot, right? So, or Carolina, rather, in that week 2 spot. Addison here, we saw Hawkinson be the lead target guy, even played behind Osborne. So, I know there was a split with Javonte Williams in week 1, but I think he gets out of that in week 2.
Right. And that's it. If there's no Chase Young, especially, keep an eye on that. He didn't play last week. He might not play again.
Yeah.
Like, if there's no Chase Young, then definitely Javonte Williams. Maybe
they said he was limited, but he still had a decent amount of carries, and it looked pretty good on the field.
Yeah, Javonte looked great. Yeah, so no Chase Young, definitely go that way. And in the other game, you look at the over under for that Washington Broncos game, it's only 39. The Saints Panthers game is 40. So it's not really that much better in terms of scoring points here. And one interesting tool that you guys should be using, I know there's a lot of Fantasy Alarm members in here. Go check out I use it every time I'm doing my start sets, every time I'm doing my weekly rankings, our NFL tools, and then go to the Vegas tab. What it does is it not only has the over-unders for the game, but it takes the points and figures out the implied total. So you can see, like last week with the Steelers, I know they were way under, but they were projected to be one of the worst teams in terms of scoring points last week in general, just based on what Vegas is saying. And it turned out Vegas was right. So it's always worth checking that out to say, okay, the Chiefs are set to score 28 points this week. This team's set to score 19. I'm going to go with this guy. So very helpful stuff over there.
Big question here from Michael Lopez here. The Austin Eckler news didn't practice again.
Yep.
Joshua Kelly, Alexander Madison is an RB2. Worried about benching Kelly with the uncertainty starting Kelly with the uncertainty of Eckler, and then benching Madison tonight. How are you feeling about that, Coop?
I mean, Madison played like 50 snaps last week. I think I'm just starting Madison tonight. I like Madison. I know our own Britt Flynn doesn't like it, but is Joshua Kelly even that good? Like Joshua Kelly getting the full job. Everyone's so excited about having the full job, but is he even that good where he's going to run all over Jeffrey Simmons in the front? The front seven of
running against Miami is a little bit different than running up against their matchup this week in Tennessee.
Yeah.
I will say this though, all offseason, Howard Bender told me, and a lot of people were down on Austin Eckler because the Kellen Moore offense. He likes to use 2 running backs, and the Austin, the Ezekiel Elliott, Tony Pollard split, and then all of a sudden in week 1, Joshua Kelly had a huge role, something I certainly did not expect. Now Eckler was still legit, but now he's hurt. My worry about Madison is there's some offensive line issues with Minnesota. You need him to be catching passes, which could be the case. Ramondre Stevenson and Ezekiel Elliott last week caught a lot of balls against Philadelphia. So if there's a check down city happening here for Madison with this Vikings offense, he could collect the points there.
The other part is that, I mean, you look at the flex options, Zay Jones, Cortland Sutton, those aren't even bad. Honestly, Cortland Sutton might be just flat out better start.
I would plug Sutton in for sure. I know Judy is for practice in full, so he's going to go, but that might even help a little bit. No Greg Dulcich, in that offense for Denver this week. So
let's see what. Okay, I like it then. See what happens with Kelly. Maybe you'll start Kelly, but honestly, I might just start Sutton over all those guys anyway.
He needs one for an RB2. So are you playing Madison or Kelly?
Okay, I'm just playing Madison.
Playing Madison tonight. Okay. And then Sutton for me over Zay Jones. And, Christian Watson plays. I play Watson over those two. Doesn't seem like Christian Watson's going to play, though. So,
boom. Yep.
Question here. Is it safe to start 4 players tonight? Swift, Brown, Hawkinson, and Addison.
always start your best players. Don't worry about the rest of it. You know what I mean? If the matchup were bad for some of those guys, it'd be different, but you're not going to bench AJ Brown. If anything, we just got to know who your other options are. Because, if you have somebody that's just better than Swift or better than Addison, start them, but just always start your best players and hope for a shootout.
Swift is obviously you have to be a little bit afraid because of how little he played last week, and then you don't know what's going to happen tonight. But AJ Brown, Hawkinson, and Addison are weekly starters. Every week you plug and play. And today you just figure out what happens with Swift. If he doesn't play, if DeAndre Swift plays 20% of offensive snaps again today, and Rashad Penny and Boston Scott play over him, then you're in trouble having DeAndre Swift on your lineup. Swift. He's probably droppable. Z Hillenbrand. This could be Zach. I have Anthony Richardson in our league, so I don't think this is a question pertaining to our league, but Richardson or Cousins here.
I mean, if Richardson's go, I'm starting him, dude. Like, the upside is just the floor of just a guy that has 40 yards and a rushing touchdown like he did last week is so good that I'm just starting Richardson if he's a go. What do you think, John? I mean, you're the QB.
The problem is you got to make that decision. It seems like Richardson's going to be good to go here. So Cousins obviously playing on Thursday. If you sit him, you have to hope Richardson plays. Now, you saw what Mac Jones did against his Philadelphia Eagles defense last week, 330 and a couple scores. Cousins certainly has the weapons to go out there and do the same. I like the over on Kirk Cousins pass attempts tonight at 37.5. I like the over on Kirk Cousins passing yards tonight at 266.5 as well. So I could see that production coming, but I'm going to lean Anthony Richardson against Houston this week because that rushing upside is super tempting. But if you are worried about the injury, then you just play Kirk. You don't even have to worry about it. No, don't sweat it. Just play the healthy player here.
For sure.
1912 fantasy here. Penny or Hill for PPR?
1912 is my boy, dude. I see it. I saw him in the player profiler chat earlier this week. He's out and about. So shout out 1912, dude. I think I'm going with Justice Hill here simply because Rashad Penny, I know he's been banged up, but he's never caught 10 passes in the season. I know this isn't a big team that passes the ball to the running back a ton, but just give me that chance at a couple of receptions. You know what I mean? Like, if Lamar Jackson's going to be stealing the goal line and all that, all you can ask for in this world is reception. So I'm going Justice Hill. Yeah,
I mean, the main thing with Penny is, like, we just don't know. I mean, we don't really know what Hill either, but he did have 2 rushing touchdowns last week.
Penny wasn't – they determined – they are the ones that have been watching these guys all off seasons, and they didn't give Penny a jersey to wear last week.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It feels like he's the emergency back behind Swift and Boston Scott here tonight. So I go Hill as well.
Yeah.
Yuki Lee here. Lockett or Addison?
Yeah, I guess Lockett is out of concussion protocol. He's a full go. So I'm going to start Lockett. I'm just – Addison – we were drafting Addison in a lot of leagues because of the season-long upside. We need him to get that full workload. You look at guys like – when they were rookies, Odell Beckham Jr., Mike Evans, Amon-Ra St. Brown, right? Amon-Ra St. Brown was unstartable for 6-7 games. And then when, he earned the full role, he was a rock star. So we drafted Addison for that reason. For the short term, though, I'm starting Lockett.
Yeah, I go Lockett here. I also think that matchup might be a little sneaky. I know there's some issues with the Seattle offensive line this week. They hurt both tackles in that game against the Rams, but 47.5 game total that opened at 51. It's still one of the higher on the board. And those two teams put up 93 points last year in their matchup. So I'm going to go Lockett as well.
I can't wrap my head around so John, what happens a lot of times, because we were thinking that the Seahawks, their situation was deteriorating. So that's why the over-under came down from 51 to 47.5. But now the line on the Lions has come down from 6 to 5. So what's going on?
I don't know. Listen, I talked to Howard Bender as well to try to get a little insight on what he thinks. He thinks what it is that line was set too high. There's only one other game up over 50 on the slate, and people were just betting the under on it because there weren't a lot of points scored in week 1.
Yeah, the Sharps are just hammering it.
Sharps handed the under, moved it down. We'll see where it ends come Sunday. Kirk, Trey Burks, or Dubs here?
I got to start Treylon Burks, especially with DeAndre Hopkins banged up. Treylon Burks actually led the team in snaps last week. So I got to go with
him over Romeo.
Romeo,
Christian Watson's not practicing, man.
I know. It was just, he only ran 20 routes, and I know it was a game script type thing. Yeah, I don't know, John. I could be sold on it. Christian Kirk, you got to put him to the side because he only played a partial snap share. So it's Burks or Dobbs. And I could be sold on Dobbs.
I go Romeo Dobbs.
Go chase.
He could be the number 1 wide receiver in this
I just hate chasing touchdowns, dude. I feel like an idiot.
I hate Ryan Tannehill. So I'd rather not play Ryan Tannehill. I'd rather trust the guy catching the ball.
And Burks also, I mean, he played a ton of snaps, but I'm not sure if his knee is fully 100%.
Is this an injury for DeAndre Hopkins, or is this one of those like mandated days off that he requires? Remember, he doesn't practice during the week.
They're saying it's not, because there's a lot of guys. If every guy that took today off was questionable, there would be 1,000 questionable players. We're getting news that there's something going on.
Okay. Victor here, 14 team, full PPR, Addison, Allen, Pirine, Dubs, or I'm guessing that's Roshan Johnson.
I mean, it's Keenan Allen.
I don't know how you don't play Keenan Allen, against the Titans. You lock that one in every week.
Let us know if you need more guys than that, but Keenan
Allen is definitely the guy I'm rocking with here. 1912, I think we answered this one already. I was asking you to do it. So, guys, we appreciate you all throwing chat in here. We will get to your questions. You don't need to type them in twice. I promise you we'll get there.
We'll get there.
LBJ here, one tight end start or in long-term value in Njoku, Laporta, Musgrave.
So I have Laporta and Musgrave long-term. I've moved them both up. And Njoku scares me because in the past, the 3 years prior to last year, he's blocked on 14 to 16% of his pass plays, which is the danger zone. Like, that's a killer for us. And last year that went down to 9, which isn't even that good, but still better. Last week he blocked on 17% of his pass plays. That's what kills guys like Tyler Higbee. It's what creates these random weeks where guys play a huge snap share and you're wondering why they did nothing. That's it. That's why Tyler Higbee can play 75, 80% of snaps and just give you 0 points. Njoku last week blocked on 17 pass plays in a game where the Bengals were missing their both safeties from last year. So I can't go there. I'm going Laporta this week versus Seahawks. And if you can only stash 2 of those guys, it's Laporta and Musgrave. Just go big.
The matchup for Laporta, where are you knowing that Jamal Adams practice?
That worries me. It worries me that he blocked on 5 pass plays himself last week. Laporta did, which is crazy. So, I mean,
Musgrave ran the most routes, didn't he?
If he ran 24, yeah. So if Christian Watson and Aaron Jones are out, I might move Musgrave ahead of Laporta. I'm going to update my tight end rest of season rankings. I mean, I update them regularly on our website, but on Sunday morning at noon exactly after me and John show, you will get a definitive ranking, and Musgrave might be ahead of Laporta. So LBJ, follow me on Twitter. That will come out noon Sunday.
Alex Smith here, Swift or Najee in a PPR. Again, I feel like this is a spot where maybe you're getting a little too cute. I would rather play Najee Harris.
Start Najee. LBJ also wanted to know, should he drop Sky Moore he's going to have the Eagles no matter what. Should he drop Sky Moore to start the Giants against?
I'm playing the Eagles tonight. I'm not dropping Sky Moore yet.
Okay, yeah.
If week 2 is a repeat of week 1, then maybe you consider it. But I'm going to keep Sky Moore for one more.
Giants have the Cardinals, but that's why he's thinking that.
Yeah, I hear you. But the Giants still have to go on the road, and I don't know. I'd rather trust the Eagles here.
It's not a bad thought, LBJ, but just start the Eagles.
Yeah. Anne with a question here wants to know: need 2 from London, Nakua, Burks, or Algier?
I knew we were going to get Nakua questions. I knew we were going to get Garrett Wilson questions.
Algier questions.
And this one is actually pretty damn close. I think I'm still going to start. Man, the game script was so bad. The Falcons have to throw more this week, right? What do you think, John?
They definitely do not have to throw more. They did not throw more at all last year. This is exactly what happened with Marcus Mariota as their quarterback. They did not throw. They ran, and they drafted Bijan Robinson to run the football. So I don't think that they have to throw more.
Okay, so start Burks with Hopkins banged up, and then Nakua or Algier. I mean, Nakua, he got so many targets, man. He's in that Cooper Kupp role.
I know. I agree. Listen, it's just that the 49ers are a good defense, man. So if you want to go Puka because you picked them up, that's fine. I do think eventually you see a larger split in snap share between Bijan and Algier. I don't see it being this, what was it, 55-45? I don't imagine it's that every week, but if it is, then Arthur Smith really hates us all. So go Puka this week with Burks, I guess.
Puka with Burks, and if Hopkins plays, then maybe London over Burks.
The Dino here, Higbee, Laporta, Kincaid for a tight end premium.
Kincaid. So it's Kincaid just simply because the Laporta and Kincaid, both good matchups for those guys, but Kincaid played 47 snaps at wide receiver. He was basically Cole Beasley in this offense, only blocked on 1 pass play. That's a difference maker. Laporta, good matchup, but as John pointed out, Jamal Adams likely to play, and Laporta did quietly block on 5 pass plays, which I don't like. So Kincaid, in my rankings, I have them back-to-back, but Kincaid.
I love Buffalo as a bounce-back spot. Obviously, and they lost last week, and they faced a very tough Jets defense. they have the Raiders coming in, who's going to be on the road for their second straight game, traveling from Denver to Buffalo. So like it just feels like the schedule makers were throwing Buffalo a bone here in week 2. So I think Kincaid and that crew is ready to jump off. Our guy Dan in chat saying Bradbury, hoping he's out. Well, good news for you, Dan. He is out. Kirk Cousins should have a little bit of an easier time because Plush is going to destroy him this week.
Plush was in this chat talking trash to me. So, yeah. She was talking trash to me last week, and I won. So, Plush, take a lap. All right.
Didino also wants to know Watson or Cousins 6-point touchdown with a bonus for 300 yards.
That's you, John. You're the tight. You're the key.
Yeah, I am going to go Cousins this week. Again, you have Cleveland on the road in Pittsburgh. I know Pittsburgh did not look good last week, but I don't think Watson looked all that great last week either. So give me Cousins this week against the Eagles defense is where I'm going to run. And what's the tight end question? Pass it back to you. Kincaid, Chig, or Ertz?
It's Kincaid, man. I have them Kincaid and then Ertz. Chig, even if Hopkins is out, Tannehill is the real problem. I mean, Tannehill could have – they set up a flea flicker where Chig was wide open, and Tannehill missed him, dude. I mean, it's like, what more can you do?
That's what I'm trying to tell you, man. I am not a Ryan Tannehill truther here.
In the Kincaid narrative that, like, Josh Allen himself said he forced it down the field, chucking it deep, and he's not going to do that anymore. Well, guess who lives over the middle of the field? Dalton Kincaid. I really think that conditions are perfect for him to have a big week. So
yeah, I'm with you. There, he's my favorite quarterback this week, Josh Allen. So I'm with it. Mr. Scampers here. Favorite streamer to add behind Njoku, Hurst, Musgrave, Juwan Johnson, or Chigakonkwo?
Musgrave, man. It's Musgrave. Hurst. These guys all have issues. You know, Musgraves is that he's a rookie, but Hurst, he only ran 58% of the routes. That worries me a little bit that he's mixing in with Tremble and all these guys. Juwan Johnson, I mean, the worst case scenario for him, Michael Thomas looked good. Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, they all look good. So it kind of hurts him there. And then Njoku with the pass blocking, I talked about that. So hey, you want my favorite? Musgrave.
Yeah, I'll rock with that there. AA wants to know any of these guys droppable after week 1. Kadarius Toney, Zeke Elliott, or Brandon Cooks.
Man, that's tough. Kadarius Toney had just about the worst game you possibly had.
Literally the worst game possible. I think this is another wait and see week here. Figure it out between Kadarius or Zeke. I'm not dropping Cooks though. He got hurt, but they said it's a 1 week injury. So
be nice if you had an IR spot, AA.
Yeah. Plus, again, they played in a hurricane. It was 40-0. So I'm not going to overreact to Brandon Cooks yet. But Toney did not look good. If Travis Kelce comes back and we see Kadarius Toney get passed by Rashee Rice or something like that and it snaps, he's probably the one to go. And you can hold on to Zeke just as a handcuff play.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Yuki wants to know Jahmyr Gibbs or Montgomery.
I have Gibbs ranked ahead only in full PPR. In every other format, I have Dave Montgomery ranked ahead. He played 55 snaps and scored all the touchdowns, and it's kind of hard. But
they did come out and say this week they expect Gibbs to play a larger role. Dan Campbell said that after week 1 that they expect Jahmyr Gibbs to play a larger role, that it was more so getting his feet wet in week 1, the whole matchup against Seattle. So I'll rank Gibbs with you in PPR ahead of him. He was so electric in the little time that he was on the field. So,
best 16 snaps I've ever seen, or 19 or whatever it was.
Yuki? Like, what's your other running back situation look like? Because I think both in this spot, especially.
I watched it on this channel. We commentated a $10,000 buy-in FFPC draft, and a dude drafting a $10,000 team took Jahmyr Gibbs as his RB1 and David Montgomery as his RB2. And with 10 grand on it.
Dude, week 1 to pay it off. You got like 8 fantasy points out of Gibbs. You got 20 out of Montgomery.
It's not crazy to start both. And honestly, half PPR, I think I straight up have them ranked back to back. And I could be convinced to start Gibbs. I think eventually it's going to be that way.
Gibbs is going to be a home run hitter in this offense. He's going to hit a gap one day and no one's going to touch him. So
it could be Alvin Kamara, Mark Ingram,
Mr. Scampers here. Will Tua and Mac finish QB1, QB2 again in Scott Fishbowl? Unlikely, but at least the Hurricanes hitting Saturday, not Sunday.
But for you, Scampers, yes.
I hope Mac does. I hope Tua doesn't because we're.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, as Patriots fans,
the Dino wants to know Bobby Trees or Burks.
I mean, dude, Bobby Trees got double-digit targets, man. Again, it's hard for these questions. You have the luxury to wait. And it's hard to answer these questions with DeAndre Hopkins maybe playing, maybe not.
Right.
I'm willing to say Burke. I added Bobby Trees in the league. I think it's Burks. I lean Burks almost regardless, but maybe if Hopkins goes, you go with Trees. John, what do you think?
I think
Robert Woods is just so boring, dude.
Yeah, Robert Woods is but he's getting targets, so you
I
probably
know.
go Robert Woods for now.
Exactly.
I would probably rather. Again, I just don't like Tannehill, so I'd rather the quarterback.
CJ Stroud, man, it's like he had 10 targets, only had 57 yards on them.
Well,
Get him in there.
I mean, dude, they played Baltimore in week 1. Now they have
10 targets is 10 targets.
Well, I agree. I love the targets. I'm saying the yardage, I'm not really too worried about there. And as one last question for me, Watson or Russ this week? I'm going to go Russ. Home versus Washington. Jerry Jeudy's going to play. Wheels up, let Russ go. He had a great first half. He had 125 and 2 scores in the first half. And then the Broncos had 3 total offensive drives in the second half of that game.
Right.
So what are you supposed to do?
In watching that Washington-Arizona game, I'm hoping that these teams are that it's true that these teams are just good enough to keep it competitive, where those are the best punching bags ever, right? Like those remember the Jaguars team with Blake Bortles, where it was like they would get beat up on so bad, but they would punch back just enough that you had to keep running the score up. That's the best, dude. I love those teams, man. Those are the best. So hopefully we get that.
That's how I got over my Brian Robinson rushing attempts last week. Was that they came just close enough that they kept kind of giving the ball back. Right, and you get Brian Robinson to run out the clock a few more times, and he got the carries here. Formula One want to know any word on the Eckler news? Listen, he didn't practice again today, so that's where we're at right now. We don't really know what to do on the status of him.
The good news with Eckler is he's the most outspoken and also honest players that he'll probably tell us within the next day or two.
I don't love that he's not practicing, but he's going on Matt Harmon's Yahoo podcast to talk about fantasy football. It's like.
That's what I'm saying.
So when you can have hobbies, but how about you get healthy?
If you really want to stay plugged in and try and get the up to the minute information, he streams video games and he's hanging out. And if you just watch him, he'll just tell you how he's feeling. Sure. So plenty of opportunities for him to let us know in advance. But otherwise, we'll be live on Sunday on this channel from 11 to noon, and the official inactives come out at 11:30. So we answer every question with updated information then, and we'll tell you straight up who's playing, who's not at that time. So make sure, set your alarm,
set it for 9 a.m. because myself and Britt Flynn will be live at 9 a.m. Eastern doing 9 to 10. And then you flip over to Sirius XM and listen to Coop and Bender from 10 to 11. Then you flip back over to here from 11 to 12 for me and Coop. So we're giving you 3 straight hours of knowledge here with the Fantasy Alarm team. So Sean Green here wants to Madison tonight or Nico on Sunday. I think I gotta go Madison over Nico Collins. So.
Yeah, well, Nico also got 10 targets.
Yeah, but I trust Madison.
Madison for sure. Yeah, he played again. He got the full role. Everyone thought Ty Chandler was going to play 50 snaps for Madison. 50.
Yeah, I don't. But you and I talked about this going into last week. What did they do with Dalvin Cook with Alexander Madison as the backup? They played Dalvin Cook the entire time. They never played Alexander Madison. But everybody is so hyped on the backups that they always think that that's the guy you need to roster, and then it goes out and it's exactly what it was last year with Madison as the lead guy. So, yeah, Madison's your guy. Tommy's throwing some Raiders propaganda at us. Raiders shut down Dolchik, limited Trotman. Yeah, okay. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see what happens here.
All right, Tommy. Thank you.
Let's see. Next question. AA here wants to know, is Pacheco a good start this week against Jacksonville? He has Hopkins hurt.
Pacheco's a good start regardless. I mean, Jerick McKinnon, we thought he was the pass down back, and I'm sure he's going to mix in. But I mean, Pacheco played more pass plays too. He played more in all phases. Got to feel good about Pacheco.
They started with Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and my heart dropped a little bit because I do have a lot of Pacheco. But then they started putting him more out there. He did get banged up a little bit too, but he was able to come back in that game, so that certainly helped.
I mean, every time I see Pacheco run the football, he scares me. He runs so aggressive, dude. He's so is just violent. Sometimes the way he runs in the defender, I'm like, dude, this is gnarly.
That's how he got where he is. He runs very fast. And he ran like a sub 4.4 too. Like he was super fast and he's big. So
in the playoffs last year, he had one hit where I was like, I don't even know if I want to watch this. This is this is violent. And real quick to you guys, people just joining us. I know we have some new people in the chat.
Yeah.
After this, jump in, and I mean you can watch it right on there. The Better Cast. It's our new. This thing is it's new. It's awesome. It's an app where it's free, yeah, and you can win prizes. So an app where it says watch, play, win there, you download the app. There's some questions preloaded right now before where you just go in and answer them. It's like over under passing yards for the quarterbacks, receiving yards, things like that. You get points, and with those tickets that you win, you can get from our website autographed jerseys, autographed helmets, down the road, we're going to be giving away tickets to exclusive viewing events where you can watch, and we're going to have, former players, maybe celebrities that are fans of teams hanging out, exclusive events like that for your team. And we're also going to be doing, Fanatics gift cards, things like that. So download that now. You can use the QR code on the screen, obviously right now, or in the link, the description, we have a link to the app. It's Better, Bettor Cast. It's the newest thing. It's the coolest thing. And Done on there already has 5,000 points. So you're chasing her, but it's so new that if you get in now at the ground floor, you get yourself on the leaderboard. You could beat all-time legend on there. And this thing's going to blow up. I'm telling you, super cool. So check that out now.
Scan the QR code there. Download the app for free. Get involved over with the Bettercast. A lot of great things going on there. Myself, Coop, Howard Bender, the whole team's in there chatting up during the games as well. You could have gloated on Howard after the Aaron Rodgers injury with his Jets fandom in peril there. So
that's the other thing that's cool is it's not just answering questions. We hang out and chat.
We hang out there. We talk shop, we talk props, we talk bets, all the good stuff. Those of you who are also tuning in, if you have any questions, get them in chat. We will answer all your questions. You don't need to answer them more than once. I promise you, we are rolling through this as we move our way down here. Yuki said his other running back was Madison. I'm trying to scroll back and see what his question was there. So
that was the Swift one.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then play Madison over Swift for sure. See if you can put the whole question back in there, we'll be able to get
it. Was Penny it was Lockett or Addison. So
Lockett,
sorry. If you put the whole question back in there, we'll get to it.
Yeah. Let's see here. Again, the game wants to know Cousins led the Eagles or Mac Jones. Yeah, I do think he does. Is that a question in the Bettercast tonight? How many yards Kirk Cousins got through?
There's got to be something in there. The bet for us is the over the pass attempts, because that's the thing with Cousins, whether it's good or it's bad. Sometimes when it's bad, that's he digs himself a big hole and then he shoots his way out of it. Like some of those are the best games.
37.5 on DraftKings Sportsbook. I like that.
That's what we want. 37.5 over pass attempts. So whether it's good or bad, he's going to be chucking.
Dan wants to know, is Logan Thomas going unnoticed?
No, I moved him way up, man. If he does it again, I'll move him up again, because we know Ron Rivera loves him, and Eric Bieniemy obviously has some tricks up his sleeves after calling plays for Travis Kelce for a while here. So Logan Thomas, I moved him up big time.
Here's our first Garrett Wilson question. Do you play Kendrick Bourne or Garrett Wilson?
No, Garrett Wilson, man.
I got to play Garrett Wilson. Tough spot, but not where I want to go there. Let's see here.
I had no update on DJ Chark, but check out Britt Flynn is our injury expert. She is just plugged in on that stuff. She is constantly running those articles and updating them. So Mad Chatter, check those out there on the website. Check out Britt _Flynn on Twitter. She is the one that's so plugged in on that. She keeps us up to date, but last I read from her stuff, no update yet. But if you follow her, she'll let you know what's going on with that.
Three Walketeers, Jamal Williams and Michael Thomas here, the matchup against the Carolina Panthers.
Man, I might have to. I love Michael Thomas, but I think I would start Jamal Williams.
Yeah, Jamal Williams is where I'm going. Again, we just saw both Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier run all over Carolina last week. So give me some Jamal Williams here this week for sure. Elias here, one for flex. Sanders, Godwin, Puka, Collins, Moss, Mostert, Dotson, Dubs.
Just one, huh? I think if I'm going just one, I'm going to start Chris Godwin.
Yes, thank God. I was going to say, we have a whole list. See if we're on sync. Listen, I hate Baker Mayfield. I think he's an absolute garbage can quarterback. But I think the Chicago Bears defense might be worse than Baker Mayfield is as a quarterback. So give me Godwin this week in a PPR for sure. Also wants to know here, Purdy or Fields this week. Fields obviously going against Tampa Bay. Purdy against the Rams.
Got to start Fields, right?
Got to. I think you go Fields here. The Purdy looked pretty good.
He looked great, but Fields with the rushing upside, dude.
Yeah. Come on. Wasn't there last week, but I think it could get there this week.
Right. The thing about Fields, even though they called 50 pass plays, he only threw the ball 37 times. He is still looking to run. He wants to run.
Yeah, I'm with you. I like that a lot. Formula One here. Should I start? I'm assuming this is Najee Harris, or I have Javonte Williams or Ken Walker starting.
Your Boston came out on that one, John. Who should I start?
That slips out every once in a while.
Every once in a while, you get one. Sometimes you start the show and you're like, we're here and we're talking. Every once in a while, they get you. Najee Harris, I'm going Ken Walk. No, start the two guys you have starting. I like Javonte and Ken Walker. What do you think, John?
Yeah, I would too. Not Najee Harris this week against the Cleveland Browns defense. I don't like that
Ken
one.
Walker, man, you got to be happy with that Ken Walker pick
That
because
full snap share.
Charbonnet
Everybody was touting Zach Charbonnet. Where's all those sabermetric rushing stats people were touting?
He played the same number of snaps, exact same number of snaps as DJ Dallas.
Yeah, gotta get on the field to be productive. Coop's the best. Yeah, Coop's cool. I'm here. Don't worry about it. Swift,
1912.
Yeah, no worries, guys. I'm just here to
I pay these guys in the chat.
Swift, John. Kelly, PPR. Sorry, another league.
Swift or Kelly?
Kelly, I think.
Kelly, yeah. I don't trust Swift, man. Yeah, I don't want any Eagles backs. The thing is, the reason we liked Kenneth Gainwell, or Victor lapping Kenneth Gainwell, wasn't that we love him like crazy. It's that he was the third back off the board, and we were saying, let's just take the cheapest back in an ambiguous backfield. And then he was the full-time starter. That's why we're victory lapping. We still don't love the fact that Jalen Hurts doesn't throw it to the running back. We don't love the fact that Jalen Hurts has the most unstoppable play in the league with that QB sneak. So it's still bad, Yeah,
I just don't know what Swift is going to do. So you could play him, and he could get the exact same role as he had last week, which is non-existent, and then he doesn't score. I feel good about Kelly, at least. Getting the game saying the over-under for Cousins on the Better Cast is 260.5. I'm taking the over on the Better Sports Betting show that I did earlier. I took the over 266.5 passing. So, looking pretty good there.
Yeah. Make sure you download the BetterCast app now and use the QR code. John, get that QR code up. These are the questions that we got. It's like Jalen Hurts over under 45.5 rushing yards. Jalen Hurts 248.5 passing yards. Kirk Cousins 260.5. Justin Jefferson 92.5 receiving yards. You go in there and answer those now before the game. You should literally click through, bing, bang, boom.
Scan the QR code.
Scan the QR code, obviously. Go, it's called BETTOR cast. Get that downloaded now. You just go through and click those while you're, waiting for the game to start. We still have a while. And you get points with that you can use to get autographed jerseys, autographed helmets, down the road, Fanatics gift cards, potentially go to watch parties. Not to mention, we're going to be hanging out in the app, talking about the game. And there's going to be more questions during the game. That's the cool part. Is things are going to pop up. I mean, on Monday night, it was like, what is Zach Wilson going to do? Right. It's like, so hang out with us. It's the coolest, newest thing. And we're going to be in there chilling, and you can get free stuff, that's awesome. You're going to have your phone with you during the game anyway. So you might as well hang out with the gang, talking about it and winning free prizes. Watch, play, win, BetterCast app, baby. Let's go.
The link's in the description of the show as well. You can click that if you don't want to scan the QR code. So Yuki giving us a full picture here. Madison, Gibbs, Montgomery. He wants to know, who would you rather start?
There it is. Okay. I would start Madison and Jahmyr Gibbs if it's full PPR. If it's standard, Madison and Montgomery. Honestly, if it's half PPR, it's Madison, and it might just be Gibbs and Montgomery. I don't know, John. What do you think? Just start them both?
I think I'm starting them both still. I don't like Madison against the
Eagles. Just start Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery.
Yeah, that's where I'm going. For tonight's showdown slate, what do you think of Swift as a captain?
No.
He's got a 0.4, so it's just very risky for me.
And Chargy, the thing is, those plays are surprisingly they don't end up being as sneaky because everybody thinks they're being sneaky. So that's actually still probably going to be a popular play.
Yeah, play like you want to be sneaky today. Play like the Eagles defense.
Yeah, if you want to be real
sneaky, the kickers.
You want to be sneaky, maybe, dude. The real crazy sneaky play might be KJ Osborne. Because what if he just plays a full snap share and Darius Slay is covering Justin Jefferson? There's a real possibility that KJ Osborne has a good game. So I mean, the fun play is Jordan Addison. But if you want the play that has a narrative behind it that people aren't going to be doing, KJ Osborne.
Yeah, I could definitely get behind that. I'm trying to see what some pricing is here, like where everybody kind of ranks out there. Osborne is only $5,000 on DraftKings as a regular flex, well below everybody else. So yeah, pretty easy. A little bit more expensive than the defense and the kickers. So
I'm making a team right now with KJ Osborne as a captain. I'll tell you can start. Let's do some more start sits. We got a ton.
Yeah, we got some more to get through here. Marcus in chat. Would you start Swift for Aaron Jones or wait till Sunday? The other options are Gibson, P. Ryan, McKinnon, Warren, and A-Chain here.
Oh, God.
I don't think I'm starting Swift.
Dude, I got to tell you, Marcus, bro, I liked the top three players there, Gibson, P. Ryan, and McKinnon, and even A-Chain. I liked all those guys pre-draft. Week one went pretty poorly for those guys, man. All of them, dude. Right? Like, geez. What do you think? Who are you starting, John?
I'm going to wait for Aaron Jones, and then I would probably play
P. Ryan, right?
Ryan. Yeah, it's
Or
probably
McKinnon.
P. Ryan.
Gibson, dude, I can't believe Brian.
So the thing is,
Apparently, Brian Robinson can catch. Who knew?
Well, yeah, he definitely he threw to him a little bit last year too. I think
A
for me,
little
it's
bit.
if they end up playing from actually playing from behind, Gibson should be up there.
Yeah.
The other thing I think is worth noting is that A-Chain, Mostert ended up being put on the injury list and then taken off the injury list is something to watch there. But it's also a Sunday night football game for A-Chain, so probably won't know in time. I think I'd wait Aaron Jones out and then play P. Ryan. I just don't know what to do with Swift. It's far too much risk for me.
Yeah.
To go there. TS here has Mostert, Puka, Addison, or Swift in a flex. I'm playing Addison, I think, of that group.
Yeah, Mostert versus the Pats. I don't know if I love it.
No. And then Puka has the 49ers. I would rather trust Addison tonight.
Addison, man. Yeah, he's got the highest upside. I mean, with Bradbury out and Slay covering Jefferson, could be.
Yeah.
Osborne and
That's
Addison
could be. Again, the
day.
game says Boston Scott. You want to be sneaky? Yeah, play Boston Scott. Why not?
Don't play Boston.
Our guy Matt in the chat. I give Daniel Jones another chance, or what can I get out of Carr?
Damn, look at that handsome pick for.
It's a great photo for Matt. Really is.
That's a sharp pick.
Daniel Jones not as long as I'm used to seeing, but I go, Daniel Jones another shot against Arizona. Listen, perfect storm of suck last week, right? They had a miserable weather conditions, and they got blitzed right out of the gate here by Dallas. Now you're going up against Arizona. Should be a much easier spot for Daniel Jones.
Yeah, Daniel Jones. Go with the rushing upside.
And then if you're playing me, do the opposite. Yuki has Javonte or Breece Hall. Breece Hall looked damn good, man.
He did look good. I mean, I tell you, like Gibbs and Breece Hall, when I was doing the snap count article, I was shocked to see how few snaps they actually played because it looked like they were everywhere. Like, and both of them played less than 20 snaps. So gotta be feeling good for the long term for both players. But I think it's Javonte. John, what do you think?
Yeah, Javonte for me. I just don't want to run against Dallas.
Dallas with Zach Wilson. How like
you're going to see Dalvin Cook pass blocking a lot, I think, in that game. So
right, yeah.
James Cook or James Conner? James Cook for me, man.
Yeah, James Cook looked good. James Conner looked good too, though. But James Cook had like the full role. So yeah, go James Cook. But you got to be happy to have both those guys.
It's just Campers is saying CJ Ham at captain go weird.
Don't you dare say that because if CJ Ham is the highest scoring player, then this game is going. John. If CJ Ham's the highest scoring player, you and me are gonna be playing Call of Duty at halftime.
I would love to play Call of Duty halftime if that's the case, because that means I have everything else wrong. Nick grabbed Puka. He's hoping he turns into somebody tradable. He's got Lamb, Brown, or Ridley now. I mean, you definitely don't need Puka. Cup's out for at least 4 weeks, so you got a couple more weeks. Again, I think that you're going to see a step back from Puka Nacua this week going up against the 49ers defense than what he faced last week against the Seattle defense. So just be prepared for that. But yeah, listen, if he has another halfway decent game, maybe you find something to deal, but you're pretty stacked with Ridley, Lamb, and Brown. I mean, that's as good as they can get.
Yeah. Twitch question. Shout out to Twitch, dude. We love you guys coming in, hanging out with us.
I wish we had more Twitch people in chat for sure.
Yeah. Shout out to Twitch folks, dude. Definitely follow the channel. Like we said, we're here now answering questions. And on Sunday, 11 to noon Eastern time, John will be here from 9 to 10. And then we have a radio show on Sirius XM from 10 to 11. Then we're here again, 11 to noon. So East Coast, West Coast, no matter what, we're here. Now we're here 9 o'clock, both coasts. So definitely hit that subscribe button and follow along. For me, I'm starting Miles Sanders, man. The thing with Miles Sanders, people are talking about Chuba Hubbard look better, blah, blah, blah. Miles Sanders still got the start. He still got all the important carries, the goal line work, and he got all the 2-minute drill work, every 2-minute drill snap for Miles Sanders. So he's still getting all the high leverage snaps. And I think the farther he gets away from this groin injury, the farther he's going to separate himself from Chuba Hubbard.
Yep, I'm with you there. Priceless here. Rate your 16-man PPR. Burrow, Henry, Cook, Metcalf, Judy, Higbee, Kamara. Yeah, great. Kamara. When Kamara comes back, you're good. Judy's healthy this week.
You need a tight end because Higbee, I do not trust him, dude. If he can't do it against the Seahawks last week with no Cup, if he blocked on 6 pass plays last week, man. Sure. Get Higbee out of there. Get somebody in there you can trust. Because the thing is, Higbee is going to have some random 2-touchdown game, and then the next week after that, he's going to play 70% of the snaps and put up a 0. Look at his last year. The Higbee experience was awful. Like he for the big games leading up to that, he had games with 1 point, 0 point. Nobody was actually starting Higbee for the games where he scored the points. He's the worst tight end 6 or tight end 7 or whatever he was in the history of fantasy football. No Tyler Higbee. No Tyler Higbee, dude.
It is a 16-team league, though. So
I don't care, dude.
The tight ends are go get the NBA tight end article. Read the chart for Coop.
It's up there.
He'll tell you which tight end to move on for from Higbee. AA in here. How do we feel about James Cook last week? James Cook was one of my favorite draft picks this year. I just didn't get enough of him in redraft. I have a few shares, so I wish I had more. Loved what Singletary did in that Buffalo offense. All those snaps from the Cook, he looked great.
I moved him up like you, John. I moved him up in my rankings, but it was late. So like I have some best ball teams I drafted like last minute. An FFPC draft I drafted on Saturday. On the Friday after the first Thursday night game. I got him in that, but I moved him up too late.
There were analysts out there. I'm not going to call them up by name. That were trying to tell you to be worried about Damian Harris and Latavius Murray, who are on these short 1 year, no money deals over James Cook that they took in the second round. Like it didn't make any sense.
We had a Damian Harris question in the chat earlier. Latavius Murray played more snaps than Damian Harris. Damian Harris should be the questions involving Damian Harris should I drop him for this player? And the answer to most of those questions is yes.
Yeah. Ballard's in here. Well, he was actually the Twitch. Go back to Twitch, man. We loved you on Twitch. Give us some more of those Twitch.
You can hang out with both.
Yeah.
Stream on everything. Stream on every platform and download the BetterCast app. We're on there too.
It's true. The Jokers here. Full PPR pick one. Madison, Algier, Mostert, or Herbert.
I'm trying to absorb this question.
It's not Herbert for me.
I like Herbert. It's not Herbert.
Cross off Algier, and I
think it's either Madison or Mostert, John.
Yeah.
But I think I go. So it's Madison versus the Eagles or Mostert versus the Pats. I think it's Mostert versus the Pats. There's a chance. I mean, there's always the chance that the Pats suck versus the Dolphins. I mean, it's been the case for a couple of years now. So I think Mostert versus the Pats is what I would do.
I'm so torn because I think Madison could have like 4 or 5 catches tonight. I think
he could.
I'm gonna lean Madison.
Yeah, start Madison.
He'll lean Madison. Scamper says if Jones is out, he's got Samaje versus the football team, which is now the Commanders, or Hollywood Brown versus the Giants.
I think I would start Hollywood versus the Giants.
Yeah.
It's got fishbowl though, so you do get points for
carries. You get points for carries, but Samaje is not going to get a ton of carries. So
yeah, I think I would just start Hollywood.
Yeah, go Hollywood against the Giants.
Play the full snap share.
Yeah, I'm with you there. George Cook here has a prize picks lineup he's building out. Cousins over under passing. I like the over passing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about the rushing yards. I kind of like the under rushing yards. I might lean under Hurts passing yards too. If I had to pick a lineup on what you have here, I'm going over Cousins, under Madison, under Hurts, over Hurts rushing, and over Brown receptions.
I like so Brown's at 5.5 and Devonta Smith is at 5.5. I like over for both.
Yeah. The I don't know if you saw the tweet by the guy who works for BetMGM. BetMGM app, the most bet player prop tonight was TJ Hawkinson at 4.5 receptions. 99% of the money, he said, was on the over 4.5. So,
I mean, Hunter Henry just carved this team up last week, and Hawk had caught all 8 of his targets last week. And, I mean, if James Bradbury was playing, it would be even easier for him. I like TJ Hawkinson. I like the, I like that bet. I like the first touchdown Hawkinson bet. Mm-hmm. I like the underdog when you're building over there. It's 9 fantasy points is where the line is set. So over for that. So yeah, Hawk is a smash spot. I think in my rankings, I have him tight end 3 behind only Kelsey and Andrews, and he might honestly be tight end 2 this week.
Yeah. Again, everybody is in on him this week, so it should be interesting to see how that kind of all works itself out in this one here. Let's see.
Toilet Egby.
Yeah, Tyler,
is that what you're looking for here? Talking about Dalton Schultz.
Your English accent there. The Joker mentioned Algier here. I have Algier so far in the slot. I'm not sure about Madison tonight against Philly. I just took Madison over Algier, so I probably just continue to rock that. Again, I feel like the split's going to eventually widen. So for Bijan,
one back. Here's the thing: one back played 50 snaps and dominated the snap share, and then the other back, we were surprised that he even split last week, right? And so just take the guy that's got the full snap share, in my opinion.
That's exactly where I'm going as well. Fox Bozier here, another Twitch friend. Love it, love it. Keeping Addison on my bench until he solidifies the wide receiver 2, right? Wide receivers are Ridley, Waddle, Mike Will. I mean, dude, you have a loaded wide receiver group. Yeah, I wouldn't even really consider playing him over anybody.
Not only did you good job drafting, but you're exactly right. Keep Addison there, and I do a snap count article every week on Fantasy Alarm. Comes out on Wednesdays, and I break it down. Every position, wide receiver. Well, I don't do quarterback because the snaps are, the snaps, but I do every position: wide receiver, running back, tight end, and I tell you who played the most snaps. I tell you who was playing in 2-minute drill. I tell you who's pass blocking for running backs. I tell you who's pass blocking for tight ends. We break it all down for you. It's my most important article of the week. And when the moment the switch flips and Addison is the guy over Osborne, could happen tonight, I will let you know. And then it's wheels up. So you might need to start talking about a 2-for-1 trade with that lineup and try to get upgraded. Try to get upgraded. Take Mike Will and Garrett Wilson, trade 2-for-1 for like a Stephon Diggs or something.
Sure.
Even if you're giving up more value, you're improving your lineup.
Yep, I would agree with you. Ballard here says he picked up Hunter Henry. Would you play him over Higbee this week? I imagine you would, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, Henry versus the Dolphins, Higbee versus the 49ers. So.
Dolphins are actually an amazing matchup for tight ends. So the fact that Higbee did well versus the Eagles is great because this is the Dolphins are a bottom 5 team versus tight ends in general, man. Like
the Joker wants to know why Algier is not in the consideration after last week. Again, you can play him. I feel like week 1 was sort of like getting Bijan reps in order here. I know Arthur Smith's going to run a lot. I'm not saying that Algier isn't going to have a role, but if he doesn't have a 45% snap share, if that gets knocked down to 30 and he's not incredibly efficient as he was, and he doesn't score on the red zone carries that he got, then the points aren't going to be there. Bijan is the full-time back in that offense. He's the pass-catching back in that offense. So that's my worry there.
And we run into this issue. We run into it all the time with Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon, because when you have 2 good backs, you never get the situation where like Derrick Henry against the Texans, he would just have 25 carries and 200 yards, and he would just destroy them. Even when the team was winning, they just kept going to the same guy over and over. With this team, if you have 2 good backs, even if it's going amazingly, they're not just going to give one guy 25 carries and one guy 5. So the upside for Algier is never to just have this crazy explosive week because they have Bijan too. Whereas at Madison, you have that upside because he's the guy. Ty Chandler didn't play. They released Dwayne McBride. Keenan Nwangwu is banged up. Like they kind of really don't have anybody else.
Scamper is thrown in here. Adam Schefter also just tweeted it. Puka Nacua did not practice today with an oblique injury. So
Puka Nacua is doing the full like talk about getting your name out there. Puka Nacua, week 1 blow up, shows up in the injury report. I mean,
everybody spends 100% of their fab on him, and then he is going to be Cooper Kupp might come back before he does.
The only thing he's missing is the dating Taylor Swift rumors with the Travis Kelce. Puka Nacua, that he can run
Travis
the full.
Kelce shooting his shot there.
Attaboy, dude. That's an attaboy. Right?
Scamper says Darisaw is active but not 100%. And another Twitch fan in here. Love it. Love our Twitch community tuning in here. Tight end question: Dallas Goedert tonight or George Kittle against the Rams?
Man, that's so very close. But I have George Kittle ahead, just ever so slightly. If it's full PPR, I might consider Dallas Goedert, but in everything else, half or standard, it's George Kittle. Dallas Goedert, surprisingly, before the season, his over-under for touchdowns on the season was 3.5. I went back to look at it. This guy, over the last 3 years, only has 8 end zone targets. He feels like a red zone target, but he's really not. Jalen Hurts takes all those, and A.J. Brown scores from like 20 yards out. So Dallas Goedert really isn't the red zone threat that we kind of picture him to be in our minds.
Sure.
To put it in perspective, 8 end zone targets over 3 years. Mike Gesicki, playing a 40% snap share last year for the Dolphins, got 8 end zone targets just last season. So it's scary for Dallas Goedert.
What are your thoughts on Nick Sirianni coming out saying that they need to get Goedert more involved in this offense?
It's like that Tim Robinson skit, right? Like we're all trying to find the guy who did this.
Yeah.
And you're the dude that calls the plays, right?
Yeah.
Like if you want to get the guy the ball more, you could have absolutely done that, right? So unless just totally weird that he would say that about Swift and Goddard. But hey, if he's saying it, then more work, right?
Hey, JD in here saying, I'm really feeling Goddard tonight, but man, I'm just impatient and I want the points.
I know, dude. I know, JD.
It's a good matchup. And like, I mean, the Vikings are not a good defense, but Goddard is the third best receiver in an offense that runs the ball more than they throw it. So, that's where you're kind of sitting at there. So
yeah. Well, Ann in the chat asked any props. Go in and hit the Dallas Goddard lines. They're at 45.5. I would start Kittle and then throw in some Goddard props tonight. Throw Goddard in your showdown slate. That's how I hedge at times.
These are the props that I gave out tonight on the Better Sports Betting Show. I like Cousins over 266.5. I like Devonta over 64.5 receiving yards, and I like Cousins over attempts at 37.5.
Ooh, I like that. I'm looking one up because I think this is a fun one.
Everybody and their brothers on Hawkinson over 4.5 receptions tonight.
Yeah. John, can you find me a prop on the Eagles defense to score a touchdown tonight? Because I think that one is one. I think this is one where Kirk Cousins comes out and gets
pick six here.
And gets pick six and gets a little wild. And those ones are so much fun because those ones, when they hit, it's you flip the coffee table, throw a beer bottle those are fun, man. Nothing gets you on your feet like when you have the defensive touchdown prop in and the interception happens and you're just go. Those are my favorite ones to bet. So
so the Eagles defense is plus 3,000 anytime. Actually, they don't have an anytime touchdown line on DraftKings, so they do have the first touchdown.
It's first touchdown
plus 3,000 on the Eagles D to score the first.
I don't know if I like the first touchdown. If there's an anytime touchdown bet that's plus 1,000 or higher, I kind of like that.
Anytime touch. Actually, they just put it up now. Let's see. Or do they move it? The Eagles. Okay, plus 500 anytime touchdown.
I don't know if that's high enough for me. $10 or something.
Plus 1,000 would be CJ Ham plus 1,100 anytime touchdown.
Ew. That's gonna happen because Scamper said it in the chat. John.
That's what I'm saying. First touchdown tonight. You have AJ Brown at plus 800. Devonta Smith plus 1,000 to score the first touchdown tonight. Justin Jefferson plus 1,100 to score the first touchdown tonight. So
if I'm going to take, honestly, I can't bet AJ Brown at 800 if I can get Devonta Smith at 1,000 because I think it's not that far off, right?
I would agree with you. Let me share you before we get out of here because it is actually time to get out of here. I want to read off my showdown lineup. Could give me your first thought impression on the lineup here, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I was going to try to share it, but it's not sharing up on the screen here. I got too many things going. All right. Captain is Devonta Smith, Jordan Addison, Kirk Cousins, TJ Hawkinson, Jalen Hurts, and then all I had left for money was Boston Scott, $2,200.
$2,200. I love it. I mean, Boston Scott, why not? Here's my lineup. Right. Ready? This is called the Scampers Ham lineup. I'm not putting Ham at the captain, but if you put Ham in a lineup, he only costs $400 on DraftKings. Okay. I have KJ Osborne as my captain and CJ Ham in the lineup. When you put Ham in there with Osborne at captain, I can start Kirk Cousins, Justin Jefferson, Jalen Hurts, Devonta Smith.
Jeez.
So random Ham touchdown. I can just start all the stars. I may be getting rich here. If I
make all the money. Yeah.
If I win big on this one, there's some money coming your way, Scampers. Some ham. I'm sending you some money, and I'm also calling the local butcher shop and buying you the finest ham in town.
Remember, everybody, go scan the QR code here or click the link in the screen. Join the Bettercast. We're going to be in there watching the game today. Answer those pregame questions. Get the points. Get the tickets. Watch, win, play with us over on the Bettercast app. For Coop and I, we'll be back on Sunday, 11 to 12. I'll be live for Brit Flynn, 8 to 9. Good luck, everybody. Get us in the Discord. Find us on Twitter, and we will catch you all later.